Equity markets are at an interesting junction. We are in a soft landing environment for a desynchronized global economy. Some economies are slowing down, some are on the upswing. While inflation is still a very important topic, especially with respect to the last mile in reaching central bank targets, we are possibly in a transition phase where markets shift their focus on political cycles versus economic cycles, at least at the points where election results surprise, as they did in India and more recently in Europe, and with the announcement in France of a parliament election, perhaps in France as well. The topic of the elections will also be key in the US, of course, and in the UK. The topic of long-term debt sustainability is also really important, as interest rates have come up and debt levels as well, considering COVID support and financial monetary support. Understanding how countries with large and increasing deficits will finance those is important. It's nearly like a post-war environment without the war, except the war was COVID. Despite ongoing inflation issues and growing political uncertainty, equity markets are also enjoying some tailwinds. The US economy seems to be showing resilience, while the global manufacturing cycle is now on the upswing. China is working through many of the issues presented by its transition away from property to innovation-led growth. But many now feel that the Chinese economy is close to a bottom. Investor interest in the country is picking up again. In Europe, rate cuts and green shoots of growth show the picture here is improving as well. At the moment, we would take opportunities in volatility in Europe to add to positions there as valuations continue to look very appealing. The UK also appears very attractively valued and seems to have a pretty benign election environment versus other countries in Europe or in the world. In terms of sectors, tech is still favored, but more focus is being placed by our teams on the enablers of the next generation of technologies, of what I've called digital Darwinism, in terms of both the green transition and the increasing adoption of AI across industry and commerce. In this respect, we mean both, for example, providers of data centers and cloud computing, but also firms involved in the extraction and production of raw materials such as copper that will benefit from this revolution and this transition. It will grow in importance as electrification takes hold. Outside of Europe and the US, Japan is currently favored. Recent structural changes and to Japanese equity markets have made them more attractive to foreign investors, while ongoing corporate governance reforms also signal further steps in the right direction. Turning to China now, the economy still has significant structural challenges to negotiate and to overcome. However, as I've mentioned, the feeling is that we may be close to a bottom here, and investors' interest is certainly returning.